So here's what happens when you start a YouTube channel is you think you have this really good idea of exactly what you're going to create in this creative mind. And then you start building a bike and then you start ordering parts and you think, I'm going to make this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to go down this path, but I'm not going to do this, but I don't want to do this. And then somebody says, you should do this. And you think,
you're not the smartest, you're not the coolest, you're not the best looking, but god damn it, you're something.
I never do that. Well, in this video, we're doing exactly what I said in the first or second video, probably the second video, I said I wasn't going to do, and that is turn signals, switching them out to LED because on the Honda CTXs, they came as halogen, and they're just not as bright. And that's reality. And I will shamefully admit that after I did this, I was kind of bummed out that I didn't do them on my first bike because they look damn good. So stay tuned for the episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I want to thank everybody over at the CTX forum and Facebook who told me I should do it, and I'm stupid for not doing it. And I want to thank them for helping me find the correct parts that work for the bike. Those will all be listed down in your toolbox below. So if you're looking for the correct parts, links are down below. Oh yeah, real quick. Everything that you see, I'm doing, not a professional. Do everything at your own risk. I'm not liable for anything. Some lawyer told me I had to say this, but I'm just having fun with it, showing you guys how I do what I do. Hopefully if you pop something up and you see where something's at, it answers a question for you. But yeah, this isn't a fully educational video, and everything you do, your own risk. Anyways, back to this. Typically on this bike, I don't change the turn signals out for LEDs, but everything on the bike is going to be LEDs. So we might as well do it. Now, on the Harleys that I've done, I will change them out because I'll change the housings out. Most of the new bikes already come with them anyways. Crotch rockets, cruisers, some of the other bikes we do the fender eliminator kits with. When we do that, we'll get lights that'll tuck up underneath, so we'll actually change everything else out. With this bike, it's so easy to do, and I've had some questions to do it, and I figured we'll just make a video on it. But to do it, all you need is 3 separate parts, and it's really easy. So for the front of your bike, you need the 1157s. The rear of the bike, you need 1156 LED bulbs, and then you need the relay. This is an LED relay for the bike, and I'll show you how to install that. Basically, the differences are really simple. The front of the bike, you have turn signals plus the marker lights, so these will constantly stay on, and then when you turn your turn signal on, it'll flash. And that's just for federal highway regulations. And then in the back, those shut off unless you swap it. So if you're ever wondering why you go to put a bulb in and it doesn't work, and the nipples are either one is high and one is low, or they're supposed to be like this, that's because there's probably at the bottom, there's going to be 1 connector or 2 connectors. That's the determination of 1156, 1157. So that's what you typically run into. I've seen that in the thread. That's why I bring that up. But let's get to it. Let me show you what we're going to do. So now the big thing with this is you should watch my how to remove all your plastics video, because you have to take this section of the plastic off. Now it's off now because we're doing the full bike build, but if you don't have them all off and you're just doing this, it's really easy to do. There's 2 bolts up here that are going to come off, and then there's some push pins. There's one here and there's one right up underneath here. Those are going to pop off, and then everything just pulls off. There's 2 screw there, excuse me. So everything's just going to pop off. Then you're going to have access to this whole panel. Right here is your relay, and all we do is just push this little guy up, and there it is, exposed. On the inside, you'll see it's all rubbery, so it's waterproof. But if you just push down, let me set this down, sorry. If you just push it down, it should, in theory, pop off like so. And if you'll notice, they're identical. Now, don't get them mixed up or you'll be doing this again. But there is a rubber piece on here, and what that does is it connects it to this plastic. So the first thing we're going to do is actually take this off. A little tricky to do. Boom, boom, boom. Set that to the side. I recommend not throwing that and being really, really cool until you have tested your bike to make sure it works, so you don't destroy it. And then we're just going to slide it right back on. So when you slide it back on, you're going to have at least one more fin, and that's what seats it into here. And then you're just going to take your little pin connector, and it should go like so. And it clips right in. Bingo. And then you're going to take this guy and push this down just a little bit. It's a light, thin plastic. You don't need too much force. Then just slide it back in like so. There we go. And that is how you put that in. And then you'll just put everything back, put your push pins back. This is all done. At the back of the bike, we're just gonna go ahead and remove the rear, this piece here, the lens, and that's just gonna give us access. And there's a screw right under here. I apologize, it's a little difficult when you're filming. But if you drop that, it should pop right out like so. Then you have access to it. Now remember, it's just a light little push. Sorry, when you're filming, it's more difficult, but it's a twist. So counterclockwise pulls it out. And if you look, this is exactly what I was talking about. It's a single, so this tells us the 1156, and then there's our two nipples. And if you see, I don't know if you can see in the camera there. Let's see, there we go. There it is. The two nipples are level. So let's grab the new one. We find, oh, there they are. You look in, you can kind of see the holes there. And you gotta push it in because it is spring activated, and it sits right in. And then if we turn the key on, just to kind of give you some understanding, boom, there you go there. So, and then just putting it back together is just like taking it apart. So there is a little, if you look, there's a little tag on the end here, and that just sets right in there. This piece goes in. There we go. So just a little finagling. And then I'm going to put this on with the regular screwdriver. Boom. Done and easy. Now we're going to jump onto the other side. You don't need to see me do that. It's pretty simple. So let me knock that one out. That is the back of the bike. Now to the front. Since I have the bike apart, we'll just show you, since the fairings are off the bike, it's probably a little bit easier to show you. But all you have to do, you'll see the screw, which is right here. We'll just unscrew that. And then one thing I wanted to show you guys, if you stick your finger in the hole here and just pull out, almost like this is a hinge, it comes out a lot easier and falls right out. And if you look, that's where the screw goes in. So when you're putting it back together, it goes in this way and then kind of swings in, if that makes sense. So we're just going to push down. You just lightly push down and twist, and that's how the bulb comes out. And the new one just goes in. But let me show you the inside of the bulb so you can see what I'm talking about. I apologize for the shakiness here. Let's see. So right there, whoop, right there. So if you see, these are the little nipple guides. So it's going to set in and then twist. So that'll be a clockwise turn. Let me show you how that's done. So that's what I was talking about those little nipples that are on there. Darn nabbit. Let's see, turn that up this way. And then on the 1157s, see how it has 2 points of contact. So running lights, daytime lights. And then if you see, you'll see the nipples are in different directions. So that becomes a factor too when you're plugging this in and setting it in. So if you'll see how there's a big distance between where the nipple sits in, that means this one here is what sits this way. So the farther nipple goes in, and it's just a slight little push and a twist, and it goes right in. Don't force it. If you have to force it, you're doing it wrong. So just, you see this piece here, all it does is just go in and then snaps in and it spins. Oop, I missed it. You can miss it. Trust me, I do it all the time. And it just sits right back in. And then we're just going to go ahead and push the screw right back into it. So take our screw, drop it on the floor. Let's use a regular screwdriver. Sorry. So take our screw, pop it in. Boom. Done. I have got the lights temporary. Well, I've got the light bulbs in, and I've got these temporary just sitting here on the bike so I can show you what it looks like and we can test it out. So I've got the relay installed. Again, when you do this, you're gonna snap all the plastic pieces back on. When you go ahead and do this light, the only piece you have to take off is this guy right here. So real easy to do. This is definitely something you can do in about 20 30 minutes the most. You'll take all 4 of these out. Remember, 1157s in the front, 1156s in the rear. I'll link all of the products that I used in the description below. There's a few things you're gonna look for. If you don't have the LED relay, you'll get what's called hyper flashing. So that's where these things will flick really, really fast. And that is against federal traffic regulation, highway code, whatever they call that. So you do want to avoid that. But let's turn the bike on. Let's show you what our final product is. Boom, there we go. So it's not aimed exactly how it's supposed to be because these are just sitting here, but these are much brighter. So I wasn't gonna do it, and I gotta say, I'm glad I did. This looks 100% better. So everybody in the forums and the people on Facebook, thank you. I appreciate the help. They're actually who guided me to the correct parts that I installed on here. So I'm just glad I'm able to make the video, but kudos to all of them who helped me out get the parts. Big thing is, let's make sure our turn signal works and we're not hyper flashing, which is good. You can see this will shut all the way off. And as you can see in the rear, the back one is working, and we'll try the other way. So, and that one's working there. And then one of the big things that we've heard people complain about, or, hey, this isn't working. We've actually seen people talk about rewiring and fixing things. You don't need to do that. You just need to buy the right parts. Don't mess with the wires in your bike. It's just not worth it. Buy the right parts, because you need to have road hazard lights. And some people have complained they don't work. So if you buy the wrong relay and your hazards aren't working, let's get the correct relay in your bike. That's all it is. There's not much to it. Light bulbs, LEDs, it does make a difference. So make sure you have the right product. But that's all it is. It looks great. Now I just got to take all this back off because we still have a lot more to go. In fact, we couldn't even put the bike back together. But that is LED turn signals. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's really not a hard task. The price for doing it isn't that much, and the payoff is absolutely worth it. I think it looks great, and I, again, shamelessly admit, yeah, I should have said I wasn't going to do it because it looks good. The big thing is the safety. I think with LEDs, especially bikes that didn't have them in the past, LEDs just are more safe. I live in California, Southern California. I do drive home in traffic every day, and I drive to work in the dark and traffic. In the daytime, we have people who split lanes. They run their hazard lights up and down, and it helps. I can see in my rearview mirrors now because I'm a motorcyclist. I do pay attention because I just get in the fast lane. I like to move over, let them pass on by. So I do pay attention to this. But even when I'm not paying attention, I can definitely see it in my rear view. So that, loud pipes save lives. People will deny it. I can argue that one because I'll be honest with you, I can actually hear the bikes coming up from behind me. There's a point where it's really annoying. I would admit that. But lights, I think lights are a key. That's why they do tell you in the manual for riding is turn your brights on during the day. When you're riding, just remember, like the headlight video, don't run your brights at night with oncoming traffic and blinding them because you're just creating a distraction. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell for the notifications, or just tune in every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30. I mean, you just kind of know how it works, or depending on wherever you're at, or just if you're really, really bored, grab a playlist, hit play. Now, we are working on the Honda CTX playlist, and once we're done with this, we have a few more bikes. In fact, I have one on the side of the house. I will tell you what that is later on. I was just in a garage today, so we're going to have another bike we're going to add to the collection to work on. So that's up and coming. I will not release what that is just yet. Only a few people know. And then moving forward past that, we're definitely going to have some playlists that are parts to add that are universal. So the next thing is going to be a Thunderbox. Now, I'm installing it on the CTX, but it's going to go under a universal part because it is something that you can put on any bike. And I think it's really, really important. So remember, only you can prevent bike fires by doing it the correct way and not installing it like a ding-dong and being stupid. Forgot this follows me. It's so weird. And no, it's not a person. It's a gimbal thing. Anyways, see you guys next week.
Where the hell have you been, soldier?
Training, sir! Training, sir!
What kind of training, son?
Army
Army training, sir!